now you know they really cutthroat. If you didn't know, now you know they really cutthroat. If you didn't know, now you know they really.
Have you not believed in what you seeing in your eyes? They tell you what it is and now you are surprised. Welcome back to Media Mesh, where I give you my unapologetic opinion on everything from music, movies, news, reality TV, and so much more as we go down the rabbit hole. And as always, this is your home for the intelligent dissection of social media. And of course, we're going to be talking about the man on the screen right in front of you, Mr. Takeoff himself, who is, of course, no longer here to defend himself. However, he finds himself, or at least his family, in a lawsuit. So this is unique, I must say. I don't know if this is maybe first or this is unprecedented here, but apparently the young lady who says that he definitely did some things he should not have done is including his mother. So yeah, obviously he's moved on to the other side. And now my claim to fame here on the channel, if you don't know, was the video I did on Quavo and Takeoff, the Migos. So yeah, that's a video that's really, it's just only maybe 5 minutes of it left. It got chopped down here on YouTube, but okay, we'll let it go. But that being said, let's get into this. Now, how does that work? Right? I understand that this happened back in June of 2020, and she's saying that she attended a party where Takeoff was, and he began staring at her, making her feel uncomfortable. She claims the rapper later saw her with DJ Darrell, which sparked an argument between the two men. She then alleges Takeoff came into the room where she was in and took advantage of her, despite her objection and sexual advances. Interesting, because, right in that moment, and again, I'm not, for any type of essay or anything like that. But if you're in a club setting, public venue, whatever the case is, right now, like during that moment, would have been great to call the police, right? Not saying that this didn't happen, so don't get me messed up, but that would be a really good time, time to call the police directly after such an event took place. But nevertheless, in August, she filed the lawsuit. So there's always this big debate between, okay, if something like this happens to you, how come you wait? So, of course, some women obviously feel embarrassed. They may not feel that people will believe them. So you have that element. They might be afraid. It just could be a number of things, right? So they may come out 20 years later. But you come out for the money, which makes sense. I guess we can look at the case between Diddy and Cassie. She probably recognized, okay, it's probably going to be easier to get some money out of him as opposed to really trying to go to, court and get him in jail, because he probably has the financial reach to avoid that. Well, probably had that reach. But now multiple suits are coming up. So obviously we can anticipate the the Alphabet Boys to get involved. But with this one, according to his attorneys, they basically say they've reviewed the allegations, they've done their own due diligence, and they say that this is pretty much patently and provably false. And then now the question becomes, how would you be able to prove this happened? So that's why I'm not against trying to get justice. But what evidence is there? Are you able to get DNA evidence? How would you prove either way? You can't say he did. You can't say he did it. We don't know what people doing. Just like this whole Jonathan Major situation, which I may or may not talk about. Really don't too much care about that one. But it is interesting that how Dr. Umar Johnson, who I do agree with a lot of things that he says as far as, black community issues, he sounds good. I'll say that. But he initially, I remember he was like thinking that this was an attack against black men. Well, I guess it will prove otherwise now that they have the evidence and the proof showing to the contrary. So I don't put anything past anybody. People are people, and you don't know these people, and neither do I. So we can't say what people won't do just because you have a perception of them based on TV shows or movies or even music, for this matter. Is it wrong to bring the mama up in here for this? I'm going to say yeah, because it's like, she has nothing to do with this. Yes, she of course has his estate, which makes sense, but frivolous lawsuit, possibly. I guess we'll see, because if he did it, shame on him, but he's not here obviously to defend himself. And then also, there's no proof. So to me, this, even if it did happen, at this point, it appears to be a money grab. That's all I can surmise out of this situation, because what evidence do you have? And in light of all that's going on, who knows? It could be true. But just from the fact that the man has passed on, there's really, unfortunately, it's a kind of those situations where you probably should have handled that when he was still alive. So waiting is not always a good thing. Even if it's difficult to come forth, it's probably best, because tomorrow's not promised to any of us. So in this case, she's going to lose on both ends. You lost your, the sanctity, if we want to even say sanctity, because, who knows what type of people are at these parties. But, if that's not what you want, then that's not what you want. So your body is your body. So let's be clear about that. Right. But, you had somebody take advantage, allegedly, of you. And now they pass on and there's no recourse. Now, in fairness, she did file back in August. So this took place in June of 22. She filed in August. But see, I think a lot of women or men, if this happens to you, they're going to learn that regardless of how you feel, how scared you might be or whatever, it's best to move in that time frame, because it's not going to always work out like with Diddy and Cassie. That's a whole nother situation. OK, if something like that happens to you, the point of going to the police is so that you can have evidence outside of hearsay. Oh, this one said this and that one said that. Now we're going back and forth. And in this case, this is almost, to me, a losing battle. So I don't know if she just wants the family just to break her off for a couple $100,000 or something and go about her way and disappear. I don't know how else this could be resolved. So you guys let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know. Now, let's move on to something else.
Who was real with me? In time I came to see who was there for me. They say hold up, wait up, but for what? But for what? Only back you down, they never show up. No, when you need them, only around if you can feed them. Yeah, show you no love. No, when you blow up and pull up, while the ride around.